He grabbed her wrist, then found himself kneeling before he could scream. The Galactic Council chamber hummed with the low murmur of 1,000 species, each representative adorned in the ceremonial garb of their homeworld. Benjamin stood near the observation deck, his hands clasped behind his back, watching the proceedings with the careful neutrality expected of a human diplomatic aide. Beside him, Sophia reviewed data on her tablet, her expression focused and unreadable. They were the only humans present. The session had been called to address the recent territorial dispute between the Zerati Collective and the Thurian Empire, two civilizations so ancient that humanity's entire recorded history would barely register as a footnote in their chronicles. Benjamin had learned early in his assignment that humans were viewed as newcomers here, a curious novelty at best, an insignificant irritation at worst. The humans will observe, Council Speaker Vexthor had announced when they'd first arrived 6 months ago. But they will not interfere. Sophia had smiled and nodded. Benjamin had done the same. They'd been playing the role of humble observers ever since. The current speaker was a Zerati commander named Krezanael, his chitinous exoskeleton gleaming under the chamber's bioluminescent lights. He was mid-speech, his mandibles clicking with barely contained aggression, when Sophia's tablet chimed softly. She glanced down, her eyes narrowing. "Benjamin," she whispered, "we have a problem." Before he could respond, the chamber doors burst open. A squad of Thurian soldiers stormed in, their energy weapons raised. The council erupted into chaos, representatives scattering, guards rushing forward, alarms blaring. And then everything stopped. The Thurian officer, his scales dark as obsidian, raised one clawed hand. The room fell silent, frozen not by fear, but by some unseen force. Benjamin felt it immediately, a pressure against his chest, his limbs, his very thoughts. Telekinetic control. The Thurians were known for it, but he'd never experienced it firsthand. "This council is dissolved," the officer announced, his voice carrying an eerie calm. "The Thurian Empire claims dominion over all disputed territories. Any who resist will be." Sophia moved. Benjamin didn't see how she did it. One moment she was beside him. The next she was striding toward the center of the chamber, directly into the path of the Thurian officer. The telekinetic pressure seemed to part around her like water. "Sophia, don't!" Benjamin tried to shout, but his voice died in his throat. The force held him fast. The Thurian officer noticed her approach. His eyes, 3 of them, arranged in a triangle, focused on the small human woman walking toward him with measured steps. He seemed almost amused. "A human," he said, his translator rendering his hissing speech into something approximating contempt. "You will kneel with the others, primitive." He reached out and grabbed Sophia's wrist. What happened next would be analyzed, debated, and taught in military academies across 100 worlds for generations to come. The Thurian officer's confident grip lasted exactly half a second. Then his expression changed, confusion flickering across his reptilian features, followed by shock. Then something that looked almost like terror. His knees buckled. His mouth opened as if to scream, but no sound emerged. He crashed to the floor, his body convulsing, his 3 eyes rolling back. The telekinetic hold on the room shattered like glass. Benjamin gasped as he could move again. Around him, the other representatives were similarly released, stumbling and gasping. The Thurian soldiers stood frozen, their weapons forgotten, staring at their commander writhing on the ground before Sophia. She stood perfectly still, her wrist still caught in his weakening grip, her expression unchanged. "You made a mistake," Sophia said quietly. Her voice carried across the silent chamber with perfect clarity. "You touched me without permission." The officer's eyes focused on her with what might have been understanding, or perhaps just animal fear. He tried to speak, but only managed a strangled wheeze. Sophia looked down at him, then at the soldiers. "Your implants," she said, addressing them directly. "Neural interface cybernetics, designed to enhance your telekinetic abilities. Quite sophisticated. They connect directly to your central nervous system through quantum-entangled pathways." One of the soldiers found his voice. "How do you—" "I'm a human," Sophia interrupted, and for the first time, Benjamin heard something in her voice. Not anger, not triumph, just a simple statement of fact. "We're very good at building things. We're even better at breaking them." She released her wrist from the officer's grip with a gentle tug. He collapsed fully unconscious. When your commander grabbed me, my defensive protocols activated. Standard human military augmentation. Invisible, undetectable by your scanners, designed specifically to interface with and override hostile cybernetic systems. She looked around the chamber, meeting the eyes of dozens of species. Every human diplomat, aide, and observer in Galactic Council space carries similar protections. We asked permission to implement them when we joined. We were ignored. The silence stretched. So yes, Sophia continued, her voice softening slightly. We observed. We watched. We learned your technologies, your capabilities, your weaknesses. Because that's what humans do. We adapt. We survive. We prepare. Benjamin felt a chill run down his spine. He'd worked beside Sophia for 6 months. He'd thought he knew her. Council Speaker Vexthor found his voice, his tentacles quivering. This is unprecedented. An act of aggression, defense, Sophia corrected. He grabbed me. Your security protocols failed. Mine didn't. She gestured to the unconscious officer. He'll wake in a few hours with nothing more than a headache. His implants are intact, just temporarily disabled. She turned to face the full council. Humanity requests the floor. In the aftermath, as Thurian medics carried their commander away and the council descended into frantic debate, Benjamin approached Sophia. She was reviewing her tablet again, calm as ever. How long? He asked quietly. She glanced at him. How long have I been more than a diplomatic aide? Yes. Sophia's lips curved slightly, not quite a smile. Since the beginning, Benjamin. We're humans. We're always more than we appear. The Galactic Council would spend the next 3 months restructuring their security protocols, their diplomatic procedures, their entire understanding of humanity's place among the stars. They would learn, slowly, that the curious newcomers had been studying them with the same intensity they'd once reserved for surviving ice ages and splitting atoms. And they would learn to be very, very careful about grabbing a human's wrist, because humanity had indeed been observing, but they'd never been defenseless.